Hare Krishna to all. And today, what are we going to do? So today we are going to do the 16th chapter, right? So last 3 chapters left to master. Actually, whatever we are doing is a trailer, right? So let's actually dive in what is 16th chapter to do with, right? So far, yesterday there was a very beautiful question. Someone asked, devils or demons are in the earth crust. So today we will read about this, right? Divine and your language, demons, suras and asuras, right? So before that, let's start off with Mangalacharan. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Om Anyanattimurandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kalamaya Tadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaya Vaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye. Shri Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So let's start. Right, so what is it? The divine and demoniac natures, right? So this is what we wanted to know about, right? So here this entire chapter is dedicated. Say, I already told, right? 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita is so special that whatever questions you have, Krishna has written chapters in that. So can you believe this? So normally when we have a question, we need to search for answers. So here the answers come right before our eyes, right? So it's Deva Sura, Sampad, Vibhaga, Yoga. Deva, Asura. So what does it mean? Deva means divine and Asura means, you all know Asura. Suras only we don't know, right? The villains are always well known. So let's see what Krishna is telling about this. So here he's going to talk about the various qualities of, the Devas as well as Asuras. So let's start. Hare Krishna. 16.1 to 3. And
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belongs to godly men endowed with divine nature.
Hare Krishna, very beautifully read. Thank you so much. So what are they talking about, right? They're talking about godly qualities, right? So I hope you've already counted how many are there, or at least count how many we have. That's more important. So let's just quickly jump into what these sessions are about. So between 1 to 6, right? And that's the starting we had, of which, 1 to 3 talks about the divine qualities. And that's a huge list we started. And that's why I just wanted to start with that. And then the following are the demoniac characters, right? Qualities. Between 7 to 20, they talk about the demonic nature, right? The nature, how does it work on? And the most important thing is, how do we escape and how to escape to supreme destination, right? sometimes when we get into some difficult situation, right, you'll be waiting to escape, right? Like, for example, if touch wood should not happen, but if someone gets imprisoned, right, they'll be waiting. Every second is so long, just want to run away, right? Irrespective of whatever prison you are, whether it's a C class, B class, A class, doesn't matter. You just are waiting, trying so hard to escape. And that's exactly what's happening here as well, right? So we're just waiting for escaping. And that the moment we understand this is a prison house, many times we want to escape. Hare Krishna. Have you guys got the feeling, oh my God, it's too much, I want to escape, just that we don't know where to go, right? So renunciation is an example, right? All of you are told, I want to run away, but where, right? We need to know the destination, right? So the concept of this long drives are also an answer of this. I want to go on a long drive. I just don't want to know the destination. Why? Because we don't know the destination actually, right? So here Bhagavad Gita clearly answers all this. Nice, no? That elephant is coming and throwing everyone out. So let's hear what this is, right? This quality. Now the, Asuric quality, that is the demoniac qualities are coming. So let's see. Dambo darpo abhimanascha krodaha paryushyam chevacha anyanam chabijatasya partha sampadam ashurim. Hare Krishna.
Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Partha.
Hare Krishna. So just see only 6 qualities demonic. So easy to get it away. No, so many qualities. So the best way is keep that quality, keep this. Try and see what you don't have and get. And try and see what we have and try and reduce. I can't say remove it, but try slowly to reduce, because most of the time, we don't know it's demonic. Right? Most of the time, maybe something like, anger, conceit, you may think it's definitely demonic, but something like pride, many times we get confused to self-esteem, right? So that is why, first we should identify what and where these qualities are, and then we can decide on how to get rid of them. Hare Krishna. Devi Sampad Vimokshaya Nibandaya Surimata Masuchaya Sampadam Dhyaivi Abhijatosi Pandava. Hare Krishna.
The transcendental qualities are conductive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities.
Right? So he's very clearly telling the transcendental qualities for liberation, right? So to get mukti, it's already written, right? But what is the demonic qualities? Do it tries and puts you in bondage. You may tell, Array, you'll go to hell. Fine. But that is also bondage, right? After you go to hell, you come back, take a material body, which can be an animalistic body, and you are like on, circles, right? So he's telling Partha, you don't worry. It's just for knowledge. It's, dedicated for some people like Radhika who may have a lot of demonic qualities, but you're a divine person, so don't worry. So he's giving that assurity to Pandu, who is Arjuna. Right? Why does he say? Because he is telling at every stage, the Pandavas are having divine qualities, and that is why Krishna is constantly with them. Constantly, right? Every moment he is there with them, because he's not only greatest devotees, but they have demonic, they don't have demonic, and they have the very good divine qualities, right? So this marks as to why Krishna has always been with them. He has, sometimes we say he's partial, he has played it, doesn't matter. As long as, Krishna is there, whatever he does, right? Papa with them, right? So he is someone who cleans everything, right? It's like this, right? Urine is very abominable, and the moment the sun comes, sun absorbs urine. So can you say that the sun absorbs urine and therefore sun has become contaminated? No, right? Same way, anything Krishna does is supposed to be so pure, right? Prophylactic, which means, like an antiseptic. It's so prudent, it's so nice, and he has that tendency to cleanse anything, right? So that is what it is. Hare Krishna.
16.6. O son of Partha, in this world there are 2 kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other demonic. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demonic.
So now Krishna is telling, yes, I've already explained so many divine qualities, right? This whole thing which came, right? Which is all about divine qualities. So what is this? He is talking about fearlessness, right? So fearlessness means not just bravery, but not just protecting yourself and closing the door, right? Trying to really face things, right? Be bold, which we lack. So apt, right? And, we talk about boldness. So it's not like, if there is a problem in the road or fighting the neighborhood, I lock myself, right? That's not what it is. A Kshatriya would probably seek what is important, right? Purification of one's existence, right? How? Not only externally, but internally. Cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So getting into the spiritual knowledge, what is so important, right? And that is because that's a food for the soul. The soul needs the spiritual knowledge. And charity. So what do you mean by charity, right? Charity, austerity, you should never stop charity, even however elevated you are. And one more thing which is very important about charity is that charity is something which also should be done in the right mode, which we are going to see in the chapter 17 and 18. The next two chapters are all about modes. Therefore, you will see how these things are performed in the various modes, right? Self-control. How can you control, your anger? How can you, all of you all were asking, right? How do I control myself? So all these qualities, performance of sacrifice, we already are doing japa, right? So that is what it is. And study of Vedas. We are talking about Vedas. So what does Vedas talk about? Because Vedas give us knowledge. I just said the word pride, we will think is self-respect. No. So what is the Veda differentiating self-respect from pride? What is the understanding of ego, which is ahankar? So every bit of a thing is so beautifully explained, right? Austerity, right? So these are things which you should never leave, right? Charity, austerity, and we're going to discuss in length in the coming chapters. So I'm, I'll just thread past that. Simplicity, we already saw, right? Simplicity is not like I'm wearing a simple dress. If someone can be very honest, very honestly declare, that's simplicity. And non-violence, ahimsa. What is non-violence? You remember? It is doing not only not doing harm, but self-harm, right? Not physical harm, but even if you don't give soul, right, the Krishna, then it is violence, right? Because the soul needs food and we have to give it. Otherwise, the soul is always craving. Truthfulness, be very, honest, even to, that is what is simplicity also, right? Even to your worst enemy, you disclose the truth. That is simplicity. That is truthfulness, right? Yudhishthira Maharaj. We had, a lot of examples in the past. Freedom from anger, right? This is the biggest challenge we are having, right? So why do you call it freedom from anger? Two things. One, even spiritually, anger is something which is very binding, right? You get angry because you're very attached. This moha is there. Otherwise, you won't have anger. And the biggest problem you face in anger, even scientifically, is every time you get angry, they say that there is a swelling which happens in the cells, right? And the heat increases, which causes so much of damage, which is why a lot of things like stroke and BP, all that comes because there's a physical reaction to anger. Physically, it does harm materially as well as spiritually. Renunciation. So renunciation here, we are not talking about running away, but renunciation, we are talking about going and, doing things which are very important, right? So renunciation talks clearly about the fact that one has to renunciate, and not just the work, but, not just the work by itself. That is what he's saying, right? The actions have to be renunciated. You have to renunciate the actions because the result, that's the main thing about renunciation. Tranquility, aversion of fault finding. See, fault finding, bitching, the very common thing we do. Why? Because we have so much of idle time and we enjoy it. Even if we don't enjoy, I'll tell you what happens for many. They are stuck. You get stuck with people and you just don't know how to tell no. And we need to know our healthy boundaries, right? We should learn how to tell no, because sometimes we are so stuck with family. At least with friends, it's not so difficult, but with family, you just don't know, they'll keep going on. You don't know how to tell them, hey, that's enough, right? So that is the most important. You start getting hatred towards people, find fault. Compassion for all living entities, nowhere it is said human beings. And many relate this to human beings. So compassion to anything which is living, right? Which is including a tree, right? Freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination. Gentleness, we all know we don't need. Modesty is being very simple, as humble as a grass, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has sung 8, paras only. And there he very clearly says that one has to be as humble as a grass. Steady determination, being very, very steady. Absolutely clear, right? No, any progress for that matter. You do Mangalarti, it's not one day. You do chanting, it's just not that 18 days, Radhika has told, Mataji has said, so let me chant. No, you continue. That is what shows your steadiness, vigor, right? You are so, you're so focused. There is some amount of bravery which needs to be there. Forgiveness, very conflicting, right? We may even forget, but forgiving is so difficult. And the quality of Uttama Adhikari is very clearly not even showing a difference between a friend and an enemy. Forgiving of enemy and also forgetting and also treating the person in the same platform. Forget about treating, we may even forgive, but then we would never like to see the person's face. Yes or no? Yeah, how true is it? We are okay in forgiving, but we just don't want to see the face. Yes, thank you so much, Chania. Hare Krishna. So this is what happened. Thanks, Aspal. Hare Krishna. So this is exactly what is happening. And freedom, so cleanliness we already saw inside out, right? Externally, internally bath, externally by chanting. Freedom from envy, right? Asurya. So what is the thing? So very clearly, Isho also says, right? Asurya namate loka. Right? So all these asuras, right? They have absolutely nothing. And feeling that's the biggest quality, being envy is the biggest asuric quality. And that is why Shishupal got beheaded, right? And why is Arjuna trying to take a rosy point? Because he is never asuric, right? He's never, and moreover, he's not, forget asuric, he's never envious, right? Krishna says, you know, very clearly, first two chapters, in the second chapter, he says, in the beginning, he says, you're a devotee and a friend. And later he slowly reveals, because you're not envious of me, therefore I'm revealing, right? Slowly he reveals why. And from the passion for honor, right? So basically, now you understand this language so well, right? We have what's called the passion killing and all that, right? So people die for, you basically don't get into all this. And these are the transcendental qualities, and they're called godly qualities. And they are in the mode of goodness and above the mode of goodness, which is Suddha Sattva, right? So that is why, we have discussed this in detail. Right now we've discussed. Initially, I just gave a glimpse of it, but it's important to understand that, right? So here in 16.6, which she already read, says that these divine qualities, others are demonic, right? Now, divine, you've already heard. We have now discussed one after the other. Now, let's go to the demonic qualities, right? Hare Krishna. Pravitram cha nivrittim cha janana vidurashurah na saucham na pichacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Hare Krishna.
Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them.
So very clearly they're saying those who are having demonic qualities, right? They don't know what to do, what not to do, right? For example, we already said, right? So basically, pravriti means to do, nivritti means not to do, right? So, to do is what to study, not to do is what keep sleeping all the time, right? So these are the two ways in which everything, Vedas always speaks to do's and don't do's, right? Now that's the style which we are imitating, do's and don'ts, right? So where is this coming from? This has been said so many years ago in Vedas itself. So basically, these are qualities which are in Asuric. The first quality is lack of cleanliness. They don't have cleanliness, nor do they have a proper behavior, right? So there is no truth found in them. So these are the qualities which are coming up. Hare Krishna. Next one. Asatyam apratistham te jagat ahura nishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim manyat kama haitukam. Hare Krishna.
They say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation and there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust.
So basically, what are they telling us, right? So very okay, para. Para means the spiritual world, apara means here. Same way, sambhutam. Sambhutam means you should understand sambhutam. Sambhutam is independent. We say self-made. I'm a self-made man. There's no man who can be self-made, right? He has to come from parents and he cannot be swayambhu and he cannot survive also because he needs food and somebody is going to do agriculture. Now you may tell, no, he's an agriculture guy, so he's self-made. No, he's also dependent on rain, water for the agriculture. So there is no sambhudim except even the devatas are asambhudim, right? So what are they saying so beautifully? Can my co-host mute because there's some disturbance? Can someone mute all? Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. So what are they saying? They say that the world is unreal and there is no foundation and there is no God. Is the world unreal? No, it's temporary, but it's not false. I'm talking to you, you're real, you're talking to me, I am real, right? I exist, you exist, right? We can't say we are unreal, right? You can't say there's no foundation. Even a small house, forget a small house, even if you're going to put one bottle on the top of another, It won't stand if there is no foundation. It's just not going to work. There is no God in control. Absolutely wrong, because you're not in control. You just don't see the God who can actually control. Okay. It is produced out of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. It cannot be produced out of sex desire. It is getting spoiled because of sex desire, but it cannot be produced because Krishna says, right, in the proper, legitimate sex, I am there. So that is what he's saying. Therefore, the world cannot happen suddenly. There is this Big Bang theory which says that creation just happened. Tell me one thing in this world which just happened, right? Destruction can happen just, but is there anything which can just happen, right? Even in the lightning, the thunderbolt hits, right? It only destroys. It does not create anything, right? Can you say even a watch, right? A watch, it'll have a name, it'll have a brand. Can you say it just came automatically? There may be an automation and there are people behind the automation, but it cannot happen automatically. And moreover, from a man, matter can come. From life, matter can come. Vice versa, not possible. From matter, there is no life which can come. I give you a bundle of chemicals, give me one life. One life, if you can produce, then, we'll all change the theory. Not possible, right? There is absolutely nothing. Even for those who talk about, artificially producing life, they're actually trying to take two lives and connect, right? So it's only artificial environment they are connecting, but the lives are for real. Hare Krishna. 1 second. Hare Krishna.
Following such conclusions, the demonic who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world.
Hare Krishna. So what they are telling is following such conclusions, right? So talking about demonic, right? Who have lost themselves because they have no intelligence, right? They claim to be intelligent. They think they are very smart, but they are not. That is the challenge which they are having. And since they do not have, any intelligence, they engage in unbeneficial, horrible work. See, all this. Why? Because they have so much time. They don't know what to do, right? They have so much time. They don't know what to do. They don't know what they have, what is the right path to do. And resulting in what happens is they will think of destruction. For example, you see a normal person also, any person, right? You give them a lot of time, not knowing what to do. What will you do? You just get into talking bad. Okay, how long you'll talk? It's boring. You think of doing bad. Right? We already saw that, we have senses, what you see, observes, this gets converted, all this we have seen, right? So that is what, Hare Krishna. So therefore, these are things which are actually observed. These are, the points which we need to know. So the more idle time, the more you'll start thinking. That's why it says, idle man is devil's workshop, right? Why? Because this will start working, right? Hare Krishna. Please go ahead.
16.10. The demonic taking shelter of the insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, and being thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent.
So he's telling what does a demonic take shelter in, right? The demonic always takes shelter in, lust, pride, and false prestige. We were just discussing, right? The name of false prestige is called pride these days, right? And we use modified version called self-esteem. But there is a very thin line between self-esteem and, pride and prestige, right? So what are the demonic tell? They take shelter in all this, and they always illusion, just like us. We're also illusion. We don't know what is a thin line, right? And the standard language, many people say is, hey, I'm very sensitive. I have food with salt. Obviously, everybody eats food with salt, right? Nobody takes food with sugar. I mean, some do, but what I'm telling you is primarily most foods need salt. Otherwise, you can't eat. But the style, right? So they take so much pride, so much victory in telling that, hey, I can't tolerate. I just gave it back to him, right? So are these some really great points to talk? Are these really points which you should feel proud of? Is something which you have to think, because now you should understand and recognize these are demonic qualities, and therefore to get rid of them, right? And they are always, sworn. They are always in unclean work, and they are attracted by whatever is impermanent, right? Whatever is temporary, because they're illusion, right? So they want to pass the moment. So anything which is temporary, anything which is very attractive for them. See, that's why they say, most advertisement companies win with this, right? They may have a horrible product, but they'll bottle it very nicely because it can attract the senses. Advertisements, they attract, right? For even a facial cream. Wow, you use this cream, you will become fair. The quantity of the cream will be so much. The bottle is so beautifully done. Why? They want to hit your senses, right? And play on your desires, which is impermanent. All of you know, no matter how much how much of creams you use, you're going to have an old age, right? No matter whatever you do, you're not going to delay the old age. But why do you all do this? Because you are attracted by this impermanent pettiness, right? So these are attractive. So those are the things. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
They believe that to gratify the senses, the end of unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification.
So basically, they all believe that gratifying senses, is the only thing. Nothing else is important, right? I have to satisfy. That's the only thing they can think of, right? There is no end to anxiety because we already saw somebody in the mode of passion. If they have 1,000 crore, their target keeps changing. So when will this end, right? So the desires are also like that. So desires are compared to, like the fire and the oil, right? So if you have this fire, if you add oil, and there is a very weird version, some of them say that if you keep overdoing and satisfying your desire will die off. No, your desire will blow bigger, right? Because you keep adding oil to it little by little. What happens? It just keeps growing bigger and bigger. Yes or no? Right? It's basic common sense. So if you keep satisfying your desire, have you ever seen a guy who's smoking, stopped smoking because he's done for 3 years, 4 years, it's boring? He will tell that. But the fact of it is he would have contracted some disease and the doctor would have recommended, which he may not want to disclose. So it's a knowledge, it's a fear which has made him stop. By himself, he says, okay, I'm tired. It's very rare. You may hear it from him, but what actually happened behind the walls, behind the things, we don't actually know. Right? So what are they saying? So they are talking being bound by thousands of desires by lust and anger, right? Because automatically lust gives anger, right? Krama Esha, Krodha Esha. We saw that, right? They secure money by illegal means because there is absolutely no time, no money for satisfaction of the senses. So you will go on and on and on. So that is what it is saying. So it never ends. So that is the continuation. Hare Krishna. So what is? So there's still a lot of discovery of demonic qualities. Why? Because the demonic qualities don't end. Though there are 6 qualities, they are so intense and they are dominating. So they don't seem to be ending at all. Hare Krishna. Let's hear 13 to 15 what they have to say.
16.13 to 16.15. The demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
Hare Krishna, very beautifully explained the point we read, right? Covetousness. Prabhupada uses such strong words, right? Such strong, heavy words. So this is covetousness. You feel envious. You feel that you want to have something more than envy. It's like you want to have something the other person has, largely related to wealth. He has a car. Even I would like to have the car, right? I need to have a bigger car. So you're trying to beat. So this is very clearly, right? Very comparative, very envious, and trying to compare yourself with someone and trying to beat the other person. I will do more than this person. More. I have the best, right? So I knew a person, who used to say that I want to be the center of attraction, no matter wherever I go, whether it's a wedding or whether it's a death. Okay, and there was ironically another person who said, if you want to be the center of attraction in the death, you have to be the dead body, right? So hilariously, she said, but the fact remains same, right? How can you be a center of attraction in the death? Who is the center of? Only person whom people will be watching, ideally, will be the dead body, right? So why I'm telling is they are so engrossed with what that factor of I factor. And you can see this in people, right? I think you'll start experiencing more when you start working because they will use the terms like I, the we, you never hear we. I did it. I will achieve it. I will fix it. I am there for you. See, sometimes teachers tell, parents tell, that's a different style because they want to give you the confidence. That's fine. But when you have a same contemporary, somebody like a colleague, somebody like a friend, normally they say, hey, we can do it here. Right? If you tell that I'm so scared for the exam, the first thing your friend will tell, hey, don't worry, I'm there. Come, we can do it. Right? The we will come. He'll not tell, I am there. I will make sure you pass. All that is confidence. But the switch factor will immediately switch to, come on, yeah, we'll be able to make it for the exam. Don't worry. You can definitely do it. No, we can do it. So the V factor will come. Many people will tell, no, I. And it hilariously happens, right? There are a lot of people who talk sweetly also. They'll tell, don't worry, have you experienced? Don't worry. I know you may not be able to do it, but it's okay, not try. So they've actually degraded you straight away because they are so much confident on themselves. Yes or no? So yeah, so those are the things which are always there. Yeah, fortitude. So basically, fortitude is example of fortitude. Someone had asked. So this example is best is all of them. Draupadi, Arjuna, Yudhishthira. These are people who show patience when there are tremendous problem. Normal situation is fine, showing patience. So you always tell, right? Okay, this person is very calm and composed, but he has no problem only in life, na? So what is the big deal? So a classic example is, you see this small child, Prahlad, lot of fortitude, because patience is different. Going through a lot of these pictures are classic examples, right? Ravana, Sita, right? She showed a lot of fortitude because there is trauma, there is stress, there is distress. But in spite of that, if you show your patience and endurance, that is fortitude. Right? Hare Krishna. I hope we've answered. And thanks, Neetu, as well. 16.16, let's see what they are saying, right? Most of the time we are like this. So that picture suits. Hare Krishna.
Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down into hell.
So nicely saying, right? You are perplexed with various anxieties, right? You're so anxious, you just don't know. Constantly, because you just don't have an end. It's going on, and you're bound by the network of illusion. Right? Because you're just illusion, it's going on and on, it's not ending at all, it is just on and on and on. And so strongly attached, like Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, it's attached to this sense enjoyment. You see something, you want to get it. You taste something, you want to have it. The taste can be even horrible, right? Why do people get attracted to drinking? Right? I've heard alcohol tastes bad and it also smells horrible, right? But why? Because these are attraction to the sense objects, right? And someone falls down into hell. And Prabhupada in one very beautiful saying, right? Many times people say, you have to taste, na? It's fine for a common thing. It's fine for a vegetable. But for this, no, has anyone tasted stool? People have said it's horrible. Has anyone tasted stool? No. Maybe when you're very small, unknowingly, but not when you grow, right? People are saying it's horrible. Shall I taste? No, anybody will say that. You'll say, yuck, right? So same way, if something is horrible, stay away from that. Stay away completely from that. That is important. Otherwise, what happens is, the moment you encourage these senses, they will go on, and you'll have 3 royal roads to hell, right? Hare Krishna.
Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in the body of others, and blasphemes against the real religion.
Hare Krishna. So beautiful. So he says that bewildered by the false ego, right? And we always get confused, right? I am the body, and I factor itself is false ego. First of all, you're not a body. You're like a tenant using this body. 84 lakh stencil models are there. You've been allotted one model, right? Based on your wish. You satisfy your wish and just try your, and if you're a human, it's they always say it's a blessing in disguise, right? So you have to make the best use of the bad bargain, because you are here, being here, and we are spiritual souls, right? In human bodies, right? So we don't deserve to be here. We have a better, much better situation. But the fact is we are there. So at least that we are human beings, let's make the best use of the bad bargain, whatever we've got, and try and elevate. Instead, if we feel that I am the owner and go on with lust and anger, the demon, you become so envious, so much that you're so envious about the Supreme Krishna who is inside your body, right? And you are envious of the other bodies also. And therefore, you keep on going on against the real religion. What is real religion? Dharma, right? Example of Shishupal. I told you the story of Shishupal, I think. If I have not just put in the chat, I will tell. Shishupal is a cousin who was born with the 4 hands. And he was told that anyone who lifts, and when his 4 hands becomes 2, he will be the guy who will be a killer. And that happened when Krishna lifted him. And so his mother, Shishupal, cousin, his aunt, Krishna's aunt, he's basically his cousin, right? Took a benediction that at one shot, 100 times he can lie, right? So 100 times, up to 100 times. So he used to have a person who used to count. And this is Rajasuya Yagna, where, he is going on counting, but he just is engrossed by his enjoyment of cursing him, that his count goes out of control, right? and it crosses 100 and Sudarshan comes and chops his head. This is what is the story, and this guy is Shishupal. Hare Krishna. So let's hear what is 16.19. Hare Krishna. Go ahead, ma'am. Hare Krishna. You have to unmute.
Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you want to know who will become. So Krishna is telling, see, 84 lakh species are there, but there's some good species not meant for you. They are meant for people who are, slightly better. But you are a demon, therefore you are lowest among men, right? And, Chandala category. And therefore what happened is I have, I have done a specific set of species, right? Into the ocean of, so basically this is the ocean, right? We are struggling. So what happens when someone struggles and you hear some hope? You'll first raise your hand. You will not even see the person, right? Because you're hopeless and you have to come to reality. You have to understand you're no better than the person. You're now in the ocean. And Krishna is just giving his hand. All you need to do is stretch your hand. But do you want to do it? No. Why? Because I don't want. I have false ego. I can do it. Right? And I get drowned and I come back here and here. Right? So there are so many species specially dedicated for us. And that you will get one of these bodies. Right? So don't be envious. Don't be mischievous. Don't be lowest. Now that you've learned, try and see where we can scale. Hare Krishna.
Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demonic life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly Krishna is telling, right? So among the demonic, right, he will go on and on, down and down, down, and that's it. There's no end to it, right? Because of the fact that, they are in the path of degradation. One. So from the human, you eat abominable things, you go into a pig, right? And then tell me how long it will take. Now there is no karma for animals, right? They go in the natural process of evolution. They go up and up, right? But in human factor, right? You do a sin, you are born, let's say with a disease or sickness, you realize you at least change. No, but again, I will continue. Go down and down, right? So clearly sliding to the path of hell. It's no solution at all. Hare Krishna. 16.21 Hare Krishna. Traividdam narakashedam dwaram nasanam atmanah kamaha krodastata lobhas tasmadetattravam tvai. Hare Krishna.
There are three gates leading to this hell. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to degradation of the soul.
Hare Krishna. So now we asked, what is the destination to reach Krishna? So Krishna told, yes, you can do karma yoga, you can do jnana yoga, you can do dhyana yoga. However, escalation also I'm giving you bhakti yoga, right? He is told, right? I'm telling you staircase routes, 3 routes, and I'm also giving you an escalator. By taking the escalator, automatically these things will come automatically to you. Same way he's telling there are 3 gates to hell, right? Because Krishna always tells, right? Even in the 5th chapter end, he introduces Ashtanga Yoga. He says that, okay, for those, who feel that Ashtanga Yoga is easy, I'll give that. So he's also telling, okay, somebody, want to go only to hell, fine, I'm giving you 3 routes, which is lust, anger, and greed. What is our thought? Oh, no, Krishna, you're misunderstood. I don't want to go to hell, right? I have lust, anger, and greed, but I don't want to go to hell. Yes, I understand. Then get rid of it. Krishna, it's just not easy, because so many millions of years have passed. I've been owning this, it's like my possession. They are all in my manna, buddhi, right? Ahankar. These are all my, subtle body. How can I get rid? Start chanting. You can take bath to clean your outer body. Your gross body, you take bath. Your subtle body, how can you clean? Do it. I will do it for you. You do, your japa. You do the clean work, you take bath externally, you just do your japa, fine. I will do the dirty work. I will clean these things. So he is taking a broomstick and cleaning. Can you believe when you do it? You are so hesitant to clean your own stuff. You're so hesitant that you don't need someone. You want to hire someone to clean your own toilet, right? But Krishna is doing all that accumulated dirt for so many years. He is getting down to clean, right? Can you see a difference, right? We see the power. Oh, Krishna is so powerful. I am not, we feel envious. But do you see the other side of Krishna, right? Devotees see. That makes the difference. He lifts Govardhana hill and people are so calm. He's struggling to lift the slippers which he's keeping on the father, his father's slipper on the head when he's 2 years old. Right? So every act of Krishna is so beautiful, right? So these are things, you'll start relishing. Now you've come in this path, just don't leave it, right? It's so transcendental, so happy, so enjoying. Trust me, in my life, I've never had this kind of happiness. Never, ever. Hare Krishna. Yes, 16.2.
The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination.
Hare Krishna. So here he's saying that, okay, these 3 hells. Now we have told, no, Krishna, we don't want. I want to escape. Fine. I'm going to help you, right? And what happens when you escape hell? He's saying, oh, son of Kunti, Arjuna, who performed this acts conducive to self-realization, right? Path of perfection. What is the path of perfection? Is to understand yourself. If you do that and gradually attain, finally, what you will achieve the supreme destination. Where is that? That is in Vaikuntha, Goloka, Vrindavan. Come, I am waiting for you, right? He's just stretching his hand. I will just pick you up and go. Come to me. He's just saying, all you need to do is stretch your hand. Right? So what should we do is what he's asking. Hare Krishna. Yaha shastra vidim uchrijya vartate kamakaratah nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukam na param gatim. Hare Krishna.
But he who disregards scriptural instructions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination.
Hare Krishna, so beautiful. Many people will tell, I believe in God, I go to temple, but I don't believe in book. This is like this. I believe in school, I think higher education required. I will go to college, I will dream, which though we will do. I will not read the book, I will not write an exam, but I will go to school. Who's going to keep you? They'll throw you out, right? Or you'll just be stuck there eternally. So same thing. So if you say the same thing that I disregard scriptures, I act on my own, as per my whims, right? I will do, right? It's weird. So I came across one person who's exactly like this, who said that I believe in God, I believe in temple, but I don't believe in all these books. But there is this cinema actor who told this. Who's that cinema actor? Yeah, poor fellow does not even write his own dialogue. Somebody else helps him and he reads. Right? Who is he an authority? He may be an influencer. Can you see how demonic you've got down to? Can you see how weird you are and how degraded you are, that there is a celebrity who is acting not even as per his wish. He does the role of what he's asked to do, right? So already he is under the control of a director or a dialogue writer or a producer or whatever you call, right? And that dialogue is probably written by somebody else and used in a different context. And you feel that I will take his spirit. So can you see what level they are? These are the Chandalas, right? The below the Naradama, below the Mudwa character, really grossly foolish, right? Yeah. Can you see that? Yes. So he is the one who disregards spiritual injunctions and acts according to his own whims, attains neither perfection. He will not attain perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. Who is telling? Krishna is telling. Shastra with him, he has to follow. Fine. At least if he can't follow, and Kama Karatha, he is like doing everything. He's never perfect. Right? He can't even do his work properly. Right? And Sukam, he cannot na Sukam, never be happy. Na Param Gatim, never be able to reach the supreme destination. Right? So he is so clear, right? Nothing he can attain. Na Siddhim, no perfection. So beautifully, this is there, 16.23. Make a note of this shloka, even if it's going to take 5 minutes for you all to memorize. So someone tells, this is the proof. Krishna has told, if you do not believe in Shastra, you can't reach, forget about going to supreme destination, you can't even reach perfection. And you can't be happy, life after life, right? This is a guarantee Krishna is giving. So what does he say next? Hare Krishna. Tasmak Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Vyavastito Nyatva Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi. Hare Krishna.
One should understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulation, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated.
He's telling it's okay, fine. First you should understand what is duty, what is not. Right? So Krishna already tells in the first module, right? Please do your duty. Even if it is difficult, do your own duty. Don't go and copy somebody's duty. So he says that first you should understand what is duty. So why do you need scriptures? Because you need to know what's right and wrong. And I always tell, right? Someone told whatever is Bhagavad Gita is common sense. Yes, but that's what we don't have, right? Common sense is not commonly available. So knowing such rules and regulation, one should act, and that helps you to elevate. Otherwise, we won't know. Just like once I asked you, is 60% mark good or bad? Some said good, some said bad, some was neutral, telling maybe, depends. Can you tell a yes or a no? You can't tell a yes or a no because we don't know Shastras, right? So that is the problem. The challenge is we don't really know what we need to do, right? So these are the showstoppers. So what happens and what we should do is, look at this visual, so beautiful. Krishna is stretching his hand. We are people who should use the same opportunity to grab it. Let's grab it because we are struggling. And once we grab it, we have so much of happiness, right? So if we don't grab it, we are going to struggle. Won't we be sensible to just grab the hand which has just come, right? He is just waiting, and the two is coming Garuda. It's faster than the escalator, right? There's nothing Garuda. Can anyone bet? Can you give me a vehicle which is faster than Garuda? Even beyond airplane? No. Yeah. So Krishna is personally coming to deliver. Make use of it. He's cleaning, right? He's cleaning your heart. He's cleaning the dirt accumulated over millions of years, right? Use this opportunity. Don't step back. Continue this journey. And with this, I will continue again 17th and 18th chapter. Hare Krishna devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.